When I heard your single, it was very Lana Del Rey vibes.
I really love Lana Del Rey. She's probably my favorite artist.
This is something inherent that musicians have, but you find something, you go, oh my gosh, that sounds good. Like, how do you do that?
Sometimes if I'm in that zone, I can finish maybe 1 or 2 songs in a sitting.
If you could let people know one thing about your music.
I feel like a lot of the new music is very performative, and I feel like I try to focus on being more raw and making my lyrics come from the heart.
Welcome to the Best of White Rock, where we sit down with the standout business owners, community leaders, and entrepreneurs shaping life here in White Rock and South Surrey for the better. These are their stories behind the people driving real change in our community. Hosted by me, Darren German of the German Group.
This is going to be a fun one today. We are going to have a really good time. So I've got Rowan here, and you are one of the up-and-coming, budding superstars of our own little community of White Rock here. And you got some really cool things on the go. So it was really exciting to have had you reach out to be on the show. What I'm going to ask you to do is introduce yourself to everybody and tell them why they should maybe know who you are.
I'm Rowan. I'm an 18-year-old upcoming artist in White Rock, and I just released my first single, and it's been a journey, and I'm really excited to hopefully be releasing some new songs pretty soon.
That's incredible. So you just released a single. You're 18 years old, so this is kind of a new thing for you. This is a budding career that is just starting out here. Okay, so what's really exciting about that is I know you have a little bit of a journey that I want to get into a little bit earlier, a little bit later in the video. We'll talk about kind of how you got to where you are today. I would love to share your latest release with the people that are watching so they can ideally go download it and listen to it and support all this cool new music you've got going on. And we're going to talk about some stuff about what's coming up in the future for you as well. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Yeah? Okay, awesome. So how did you get here? So like a lot of people dream about doing what you're doing. Number one, they're not brave enough to maybe do it. They're probably too embarrassed to do it. Maybe they're not talented enough to do it. But how did you get here? How did you start out in music?
Well, it started when I saw Grace Vanderwall perform on America's Got Talent.
Who's that? Sorry, I don't know who that is.
She was a 12-year-old artist, and she performed her original song. And,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was America's Got Talent, and you saw this girl, and she gave you some inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I went out and bought my first ukulele. I think I was 8 years old, and I just started learning these random songs, and then I wanted to go play them in front of an audience, so I went and busked around White Rock, and then I got into some markets, I think Cloverdale Market, and then White Rock. I think it was just Cloverdale at first, yeah.
Okay, so you bought a ukulele.
Yeah.
What was it that attracted you to the ukulele?
Grace Vanderwall was playing the ukulele.
So she was playing that as
Yeah.
well. And was there something about the instrument that just that got you interested in it generally?
I don't think so. I think I just wanted to be like her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay too, right? Like the ukulele is pretty cool looking, number one, and it travels well too. And that's something that you're going to have to get used to, right? When you're a musician and whatnot. So you saw her play on America's Got Talent. She had the ukulele. What was it that stood out to you that you kind of said, I love that idea, and maybe that could be me one day?
I think it was just her performing something that she's written. It was so cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saved up enough money to buy my own guitar from busking.
From busking?
Yeah.
So when you're busking around White Rock or the Cloverdale Market, that sort of thing, what does busking look like? Is that like you got a bucket kind of in front of you and you're playing music on the pier sort of idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So, wow, that's amazing. So you were able to make enough money by doing that around the community to buy your own guitar.
Yeah.
Okay. Good for you. That's amazing. So when you were doing this, you started out with the ukulele. And is that something that you still play in your music today, or did you kind of progress from there and get into the guitar more?
I don't play it as often. Sometimes I pick it up just for fun, but now I'm more into guitar and piano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and did you self-teach yourself these things, or how did you learn?
At first, I was self-teaching myself, but then I ended up getting guitar lessons, but I'm self-taught on piano.
You're self-taught on piano?
Yeah.
I'm always so impressed by people that can do that. Even I learned how to read music when I was younger, and I can still read music, but the idea of picking up and understanding what sounds good, I just find so challenging. Did you ever struggle with that?
Not so much. I still can't read music though, so.
Well, isn't that funny, right? Like all your favorite artists that you hear about, they never started off with like formal instrument training, or a lot of them didn't anyways. They just picked up an instrument and they could, it's almost like learning to speak a language, right?
Yeah.
Like you just kind of know what fits where and why. And is that your experience with that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you bought this guitar, and was the guitar always like the goal instrument that you wanted to play, or what was it about the guitar that got you interested?
I think it was listening to Billie Eilish's music, because there's a lot of guitar. So I think I just wanted to expand my knowledge around instruments more.
Okay, and was it Billie Eilish kind of what led you into the piano as well?
I actually can't remember.
No?
That was not so long ago, but it was, I think I was around 11 when I bought that guitar, maybe younger.
What was it that carried from the guitar to the piano, though, if you really thought about it? Was it always maybe an interest in playing the piano?
Well, my mom plays the piano.
Okay,
so
right. So there's some musical talent at home as well?
Yeah.
Well, you got to be careful. So the people that don't know is your mom's sitting behind the cameras right now listening to this, so you have to say yes to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. So we all can, I'm sure she's great at it. So mom played the piano. Was everybody in your house fairly musical? Or
No.
Yeah?
My dad is not musical at all.
Your dad's not musical?
No.
No?
But my mom plays classical music, so it's pretty different than what I do.
Yeah. Well, how did you get into the genre that you like?
Probably just listening to loads of different genres, picking what I like best.
If you had to connect it with some of your favorite artists, who would you kind of put in the same lane as you?
I really love Lana Del Rey. She's probably my favorite artist.
Very cool.
I also like Amy Winehouse, Billie Eilish, Nina Simone, a few different genres.
When I heard your single, it was very Lana Del Rey vibes. It was really cool. It's got that kind of like that really soulful kind of beat background, and and your voice along with it. It just really kind of pulls emotion out, which we're gonna make people wait, and we're not gonna give away all the goods just yet, because we want them to hear that after we learn a little bit more about your story. So you're practicing guitar, you're playing piano, you're getting out, you're busking and whatnot. At some point you made a decision that whether this is a lot of fun, or this might be something I want to do as I get out of high school and maybe do as a career one day. What was that turning point for you?
I started to write music when I was 11, I think, but then...
You started to write music at 11?
Yeah.
Okay, so most kids are like jumping on a trampoline and blowing bubbles in their backyard at 11.
Yeah, and then I took a break during COVID.
Okay.
And then I kind of lost my passion for music a little bit.
Why was that? What happened?
I think just not performing, kind of just the isolation.
Because you didn't have the opportunity to actually perform, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that probably is part of the love of it, is being able to share that with other
definitely.
People. Okay.
Yeah, but then I got back into music when I was, I think, 13 or 14, and then I wrote Poison Apple when I was 15, and then I started performing at various restaurants and markets, I think, at 16.
Okay.
So it wasn't that long ago.
And when you were writing Poison Apple, so you've been writing music since you were 11, when did you know that this is one that's special? This is something I should hold on to?
Probably after that break that I took and I got back into it. Kind of like...
Invigorated?
Yeah.
Yeah, so taking that break was actually good for your kind of creative muscle to come out of that and say, I love this again, and something beautiful kind of got pulled out of that.
Yeah. When
you wrote Poison Apple, what was going through your mind when you wrote that?
I originally wrote the song after a breakup, but I wanted to more tell a story than my own experience, so the words don't really align with my experience necessarily. It was more just, and I was 15, so I was kind of just writing what rhymed. Honestly, not a lot of the lyrics have a specific meaning behind them, but if I compare it to my music now, I'd say there's a big difference.
Okay, so you were trying to tell a story. For people that maybe don't understand what you mean by that, you were trying to tell a story in the music. Why would you do that? I
really like music. I think Amy Winehouse tells a lot of stories in her music, and that's where I kind of got it from. Just kind of like reading a book, beginning, middle, end, there's a climax. I think I like that kind of style of music better than just talking about emotions, I'd say.
Okay, and were you good at writing stories when you first started doing all this? Like, is this something you did in school, or where did that come from?
I think just the journey of writing music, I kind of found what I like best.
And do you feel that, like, for you, that's a really great way to express yourself creatively? And I guess with a story, maybe people see themselves in it. They're listening to it. And that maybe is kind of, you'd know better. I mean, I'm interested in your point in this, but when you see yourself in the music, that's where maybe you kind of emotionally start to attach to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're writing a song like Poison Apple, how do you come up with the story piece, but also making it sound good? How does that process work?
Like the songwriting process?
Yeah. So you've got the story and the lyrics, and it's got a rhyme. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't sound too great, I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe you can still make it sound good if it's not rhyming. But how do you bring music into that story to support what you're trying to do?
When I write music, I usually start with the music. So I start with the guitar, and then I add the melody and then the lyrics. So the music kind of comes first, and then while I'm writing the lyrics, I usually get like a vision of what I want it to sound produced. So like the drums, the strings, like whatever other instruments I want to add.
So you get this idea for, I'm going to say beat's not the right word, a melody. You get this idea for a melody, and what do? You just grab the guitar, and you got to kind of transfer that from your head to the strings. Yeah. Is that easy?
Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes it's difficult. But yeah.
When you're doing something like that, do you write down like kind of the progression? Like, that sounds good. This is a part that I want in the song. I don't want to forget that, but you probably don't finish a whole song in one sitting. So how does that process work?
I have a lot of voice memos on my phone.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Just like random lyrics, random chord progressions, yeah.
And what do you do with those?
Sometimes I look back at them. A lot of them I kind of forget about, but I gotta go through it and organize it.
Yeah. So how do you organize it? Like how do you know, and maybe this is something inherent that musicians have, but you find something, you go, oh my gosh, that sounds good. Like, how do you do that?
Usually I end up getting into a groove, and then I just kind of write for like a few hours, finish like, sometimes if I'm in that zone, I can finish maybe 1 or 2 songs in a sitting. But other times it's like, if I find something that sounds good, there's not like creativity that's flowing, so I kind of just have to leave it for a bit and come back to it.
That's interesting. And you said get into a groove. So what is it like when you get into a groove? You're just like, you're feeling the melody, you're feeling the music. Maybe your brain and your fingertips on the guitar are just speaking to each other and it's coming out. What is that like? So athletes describe it as being like in the zone or flow, right? Like you could get lost in writing music for hours, and it feels like it was 15 minutes. It just feels easy. That's how athletes describe it.
Yeah.
Would you kind of feel like that's similar?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. You've got this creative environment that you're in, and you're feeling this flow, and you're starting to kind of stitch the words and the music together, build the melody out first and whatnot. How do you, as a musician, you've got a song, and how do you know that it's done? How does it get polished to that?
I feel like I've recently been trying to record my own songs, just kind of playing around with the software and stuff. And I'd say that usually a song never really feels finished. Like it's always something that I can add or something I could take away. But I kind of just have to accept it and just put it down, say it's finished.
It's never going to be perfect, but you feel confident that it's something special there. And you wanna, so how do you start showcasing this to people? What's that process like? So you've got all this creative energy, and you built this song or this melody. How do you start exploring that with other people? Do you go to like mom and dad first? Do you play it for your friends? Like how do you know when something's done and you go, hey, what do you think about this? Like what do you like? What do you don't like? Is it done? Like do you do that sort of thing?
Yeah, I usually go to my parents first. Like I'm always running downstairs, play them the new song that I just wrote. Yeah. Sometimes I record it and send to my friends, but usually just my parents.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sure all your friends are saving these voice notes because they're thinking they're going to be worth money someday. So they're keeping them in their files, right?
Yep.
Well, talk to me about Poison Apple. So it was written as a story. and it was coming out of a breakup and whatnot. When you were writing Poison Apple, what were you hoping to communicate to the people that were listening to it? What were you hoping to leave in them after they experienced the song?
I'd say it's kind of about going into something or doing something that you know you probably shouldn't be doing. So I thought there would be a lot of people that could relate to that because it's a pretty general topic, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah. Well, definitely, especially for people, going through where you were at that age as well. I always think that high school is like the most cruel social experiment in the world. You got all these kids and all these things happening, and they're all growing up and trying to figure out who they are.
Yeah.
And then let's put them all in a big building together and let's see what happens, right? It's always a fascinating outcome of that. So you'd gone through these experiences and you got this out on paper. You got Poison Apple and whatnot. When did you decide to release it to the world?
I started recording it when I was 17, I think in August, and then I released it in January.
That's a fascinating world, the idea of releasing music. So what does that process look like for somebody that have never been through that?
At that point, I think I had 20 original songs that I was going to choose
20.
from.
Wow.
Yeah, but I ended up choosing Poison Apple, which was the second song that I've written. And yeah, just kind of went from there.
So when you go in and you've recorded this all, did you record locally?
I recorded at Lemonade Music in Maple Ridge.
At Lemonade Music. Okay, so you go to Lemonade Music and record it. What happens after you record? Was it a single at the time, or did you do all the songs?
Just a single.
It was just a single. Okay,
Yeah.
So what happens with that single after you record it? What do you do with it?
We had to pick a distribution website. So there's like TuneCore, DistroKid, CD Baby, and once you upload it, it distributes to like all the platforms, so Spotify, Apple Music, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so as the artist, you've put it out. I would guess almost like uploading a video to YouTube. How does that music get out to the public though? So it might be there, but how do they find it?
Yeah, so we recognize that it's one thing to get it uploaded, but it's a whole nother world of promoting it, marketing it, and getting it actually out there for people to listen to.
Yeah. So what kind of journey did you go through to really help people discover this song?
So I hired a publicist, and she kind of helped us send it out to radio stations and get it on different playlists on Spotify.
Okay, so it's kind of like what I'm almost envisioning, and I'm much older than you, but I'm almost envisioning from the 60s, like. You got to just get it out to the public. You got to do the hard work. You've got to get the radio stations to pick it up. And you do festivals and whatnot as well. So you just got to really show up and let people hear the music. Mm-hmm. So what you go to a festival and I'm sitting in the back and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like very these vibes are really hitting good here. How do I find you? Is there like QR codes that I go scan to get your music, or how do you make sure that when people are at these festivals and they're loving what they're hearing, how do they take that home with them so they can listen to you at home?
I usually have a sign with my name and my email, my QR code on there, and it has my link tree on there, so all my social media pages are on there.
Okay.
But for festivals, I am gonna get some merch, so that'll be exciting. So then
merch. Talk to me about the merch. What kind of merch?
I haven't decided yet. I'm still currently designing it, but I'm very excited.
All right, it's top secret. We won't release any top secrets. So what about social media as well? Thinking with the year and where we're at now, social media is a big piece of this as well.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Do you as an artist, do you have to create content other than the song to kind of get that out to the community as well? I'm thinking bite-sized snippets of things, or what does that look like?
I've been trying to post once or twice a day, but it's pretty hard since I'm still in school.
It's a full-time job doing social media, yeah.
Yeah, but since I started focusing more on social media, I've already gained, I think, almost 1,000 followers on Instagram. Yeah. So.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, and it's really just grassroots stuff, right? It's getting out and letting people fall in love with the music, and then when single number 2 comes out, single number 3, they're so excited because they know how you left them feeling. Music's really an emotional thing. You're trying to bring something out of somebody.
Yeah.
Or are you? I mean, that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to pull things out of people, right? Well, what I wanted to do is with your permission, I wanted to play the single for people right now. And we'll make sure it's all linked below so people can figure out how to access it and get the information. But where can people find the music right now?
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. I think there's a few other apps. But
Okay.
yeah.
So as I'm loading this up, what should people know about this single?
I feel like Poison Apple is kind of the first step of this journey that I'm going to take with this career. So I think it gives a really cool insight to what I'm going to be doing in the future.
I love that. Okay, well, let's tee this up, and we're going to, it's not a premiere, but it's a release of Poison Apple by Rowan. Let's give a listen.
Don't come running back or slip on all the mud that you left. All the manners that you lack, like it's your little contest. Drink after drink that you buy, but your card declines. You tell that story, sugar tossed, when things don't align. My praise, openly delusional, and I obey. I was tempted by your castle, and I be the poison apple. It seems you like to kiss and tell, got me buying what you sell. You're really on thin ice now, but I got you as you fell. String after string that you tie, but you're still innocent. And after all that I get, can we still be friends? Before I finish my prayer, openly delusional, and I obey. I was tempted by your castle, and I bit the poison apple. My praise, openly delusional, and I obey. I was tempted by your castle, waiting on your word before I finish my praise. Openly delusional. And I bit the poison apple. Yeah, I bit the poison apple. Yeah, I bit the poison apple.
I gotta say, that was awesome. The idea that you can pull emotion out of people listening to your music like that, and just the soulfulness coming out of somebody who is so young, and have them resonate in your music is unbelievable. It's like speaking like a secret language that everybody wants to know how to speak, and only you know how to do it. What do you feel when you listen to your song like that? And I know we were joking before this, our time together, that how many times you've listened to that song, but what do you feel when you listen to your song?
With this song, I don't have as strong of a connection to it as my current music. I think just because I wrote it so long ago, and I think I put more thought and meaning into my lyrics now. So I think there's a big difference with that.
Okay. So when you hear it, what comes out of it though in terms of the way it's composed, what you're excited about or happy with that you really were able to capture in that music? Is there anything that comes to mind? I'll tell you one thing that I really enjoyed about it as you think about that. The chord progressions were just so unique. And what is you would know this better than me, but what is it like? C, D, and G is like half the music that's on the market, sort of thing, with chords and whatnot. That wasn't that. That was so different. The tone and the emotion that were in those chords. Where did those come from?
So this is actually a pretty funny story. So I went to a Lana Del Rey concert. I think I was 11, and she was playing still my favorite song, Off to the Races, and she does it a different way live, and I think those chords are like pretty similar, and it's been in my head for like 5 years, so I wanted to like make something out of it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like rearranged it, changed it up a little bit, and then it turned into Poison Apple.
Oh, okay. So this was just bottled up inside you for so long, and you needed to express it because they're beautiful the way that you strung them together and put them together. And just to overlay the lyrics on top of that, did you know right away when you wrote those lyrics and you had the melody maybe prior to, did you just know that they were going to go together like that?
I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think your feeling was pretty spot on. To have something like that, where you talked a little bit about sharing a story that people can find themselves in. How do you feel that people react when they hear that? Because I was listening to the lyrics and finding myself in the lyrics about being in an experience where you knew it wasn't right, you knew it wasn't good for you, or you knew it was maybe not the right thing at the moment, but you did it anyway for whatever reason. Do you find a lot of people find themselves in the lyrics?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me, that's what makes a song really powerful. You know, I listen to a lot of all sorts of music, but growing up, I really loved country music as an example. And how many country songs are there about like a guy and a girl and all that? And those just come and go. They don't pull anything out of people, right? But it's the storytellers and the ones that make you feel something when you listen to the music, that it makes you remember it, makes you want to listen to it again. Is that what Lana Del Rey does to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and her and many people, you and many people, and I think that's what you've accomplished with that song. So it's pretty awesome. So what should people look forward to the future of Rowan? Like what's happening next? Where do you go from here?
I'm hoping to release a 6-song EP.
Okay.
Hopefully by the end of next year. I'm not too sure how long it'll take though.
And that would be all original
Yeah.
music? Okay.
Yeah. And I am just starting out to perform in some festivals, so hopefully that will take me somewhere else. But yeah.
Oh, that's okay. So, and if people, as they're listening to this, we need to make sure that they can find Poison Apple and all your new songs as you continue to release them. So where do they go not only to find your music, but also if they want to come check out like a festival, is that all on a website somewhere? How do they find you?
I mainly use Instagram to post all of that stuff, but I'm also on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook.
Okay, so social media is always a
Yeah.
really good way to find you. Okay, so we'll make sure all your information is linked in the show notes. If you could let people know one thing about your music that's important to you, maybe it's what you want to leave them with after they listen to it, or maybe it's the stories that you tell and get people engaged in. What comes to mind that you'd love to leave in people as they experience your music?
I feel like a lot of the new music is very performative and kind of giving the people what they want. And I feel like I try to focus on being more raw and making my lyrics come from the heart. So I think just that my music I like to think of it as very meaningful.
What do you mean by performative?
I just notice a lot, like on TikTok and stuff. I feel like a lot of new artists, especially on TikTok, they tend to write songs what they want people to hear instead of what they're actually feeling. And I feel like when you write songs about your experience or what you actually want to tell, then you can resonate with more people on a deeper level.
Yeah, you almost mean like, I know often like when I'm driving with my wife and we hear songs and there's songs that stand the test of time, and there's what we call anyways, like disposable music. You're not going to hear this song again in a year. You know, it's popular right now and it's catchy, but there's nothing to it. There's no emotion behind it. And there's going to be another one that comes up behind it that's going to knock it off the top 10 and whatnot. It's not falling off due to age just because it's disposable.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. Like what you were able to do there and just pull emotion out of people and get them to come along on that journey with you is pretty special. And it's neat that you're able to do that and express yourself through music. Well, Rowan, I want to thank you for being on the Best of White Rock. We're going to make sure all your information is available so people can not only check out your music, current and as you release it, they can find you at the festivals and doing that hard work that artists need to do to share their story. And you're sharing your story through your music, but you also got to share your story to get them to share the music, right? So it's pretty exciting, and you've got a long road of a pretty neat career coming up, and it's been really neat to be able to do this with you. So thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. You did a great job.